shorten this a bit. Hello, Dante. Hello, Pablo. Tweak this at the bottom. Well, you're definitely not going to be seeing any of that tonight. Yeah, it just definitely needs to be shortened. I mean, if you call that smiling. Yeah, this is great. You have to tweak this. Yeah, there's still words that I get to approve, so it's not that big of a deal. But I guess it just depends on how you say it. Because it didn't say anything when you put Fat Becky ass, so for some reason Fat Tits was flagged. So I don't know, they're just picky. This is like this then. Just curve it just a little bit. I mean, he already did replace it with the X, but yeah, I'm thinking of drawing the bird at some point. I just wanted to get this done first. Yeah, could do that. Just debating on doing one of Chica from Five Nights at Freddy's. My initial thought was the original Chica, like saying that, or showing that she wasn't chubby or fat or chubby when she started, since she's supposedly from another pizzeria before she was added to Freddy's. And like maybe like the original gang weren't exactly too keen on her showing up at first, so they tried to sabotage her only to make her end up being a favorite or something, or I don't know, maybe she just likes the chubbiness and just made her own. Of course, this is all just exaggerated stuff, so. Because it's between that one and obviously the Glam Rock Chica, because that one, it's kind of easy to put her in a situation where it's like, okay, she got fat because she's just stuffing herself with garbage and all that. Morning, Alex. I still find it suspicious that Chica has gotten the least amount of story compared to everyone else. And like anything that has to do with Chica is usually like some side comment or like hidden detail that you have to like go out of your way to find out. And she's like the only character who's had this issue. Like, that's like been a main character. Not like a secret character or anything like that. Oh, I've seen it all. I know exactly what happens in there, minus some of the stuff people haven't figured out yet. Technically, yes, this is a weight gain comic. The weight gain isn't exactly the focus, but technically, yes, it is a weight gain comic. Well, if it's part of the weight gain drive, then yeah, I mean the slob thing is kind of a given. But like, I find it interesting. Like, there's like a lot of lore stuff that goes into Five Nights, but like some of the security breach characters, I feel would have made more sense had they just spent the time to make it a part of the actual game story instead of it being hypothetical moments from the books. Because it's clear that they're slowly making it so that the books are becoming required reading. And even then, the books are just giving you hypothetical scenarios that the games might use in the future. So it's not even like a 100% one-to-one scenario of, oh, this is what's going to happen in the game. It's like, no, this might happen in the game. And if it does happen in the game, it's going to be obviously different from whatever you're reading. Okay, if you gotta go, take care. Have a good day, or a good night, and have a good day at work. Likely gonna be a short stream today. See how far I decide to go. Hey, Wolfie. Yeah, I'm doing alright. She's like, I know what you do down there. Yeah, even if I got far in this page, I wouldn't be able to finish it on Twitch. Because she would normally have come on her face due to the events of the comic. So, can't show that. Not on Twitch, at least. But I don't think I'll be getting to that point during the stream anyway. She would be a little frightening if she was a sleep paralysis creature. So quiet tonight. What do you think of odd ship couple? I mean, they're fine as far as I'm concerned. Especially in Krillin's case, he came out on top. And then, of course, Roger Rabbit definitely scored with Jessica. So yeah, I'm perfectly fine with it. Honestly, as long as it makes sense, then I'm pretty much fine with whatever. That's why I had issues with that kind of stuff in Boruto or the ending of Naruto, because it was just like, here's a bunch of characters that didn't really interact with each other, but we're just gonna put them together anyway. It was like taking remaining characters, putting them on a dartboard, and just throwing darts to see who got hooked up with who. With silly itty bitty wife, I mean, technically that'd be Hercules, and oh god, what was her name? I know it starts with an M. Meg. Not 100% the same, but it's like she's hella skinny. No, not in the same range as like Roger Rabbit and Krillin. No. I honestly haven't really thought about it. I kind of just went with whatever made sense to me. I'd have to actually go through and think about it more. It's kind of one of those things you just not entirely accept just because it's there, but like if you've gotten enough context, then it's like, yeah, sure, that's believable. It's not like the situation with Naruto where it was just kind of like, here are characters that barely spoke words to each other, but we're going to put them together anyway. And in a lot of cases, in terms of Boruto, some of the characters never spoke to each other at all. Like, I'm sure there's pairings that I'm aware of. I just cannot for the life of me think of it right now. Yeah, like it's always good when it actually works out and makes sense, and wasn't just like thrown together just because of a silly moment or something like that. Where it's like, oh hey, look, these two interacted for like 2 seconds and it was silly, and then later down the line they're just kind of together for practically no reason. But like, when there's the context, then it just makes it better. It's like I can think of a few characters, but they're not like official couples. At least I don't think they are. Because there was that one anime with the guy who had like a small girlfriend, and he's like a huge guy. But I don't remember if they actually seal the deal or anything like that. I think it's just one of those rom-coms. Well, I was mostly going with your suggestion of to not show this particular one, since she's kind of out of her mind and she's not really going to enjoy it. Or at least be able to enjoy it normally. Like, I was thinking of, like, after she does do the deed, have Red show her the camera footage of what happened, and can show her drugged out self kind of enjoying it. Like making noises and stuff, like moans and stuff like that, kind of make Joanne kind of go like, "Oh my god, am I really making those noises?" type of thing, like embarrass her. But that's the idea for this particular situation, is to not have her enjoy it. And then when she does do Vor on her own terms, then can show her actually enjoying it, and then actually showing her swallowing the character. Well, this part is built up to when she's gonna do it, and then the next page is gonna cut to her having already swallowed him, and she's like waking up from passing out. Because the idea is that she didn't get to enjoy this. Assuming she would have enjoyed it if she had been in the right state of mind. I mean, if that doesn't sound good, I can show her actually doing it. So don't like feel like you have to agree with it just because I'm doing it. My original plan was just going to show her doing it but being violent towards him. Like breaking his horns off, which I was probably going to show when Red shows the footage. Just not as graphic. But yeah, if you'd rather see her go through the paces, I don't have a problem with it. I just think when she does do it at the Vor bar or whatever we call it, that's when she's a little bit more intimate with it. Yeah, because like I do want Joanne to like start abusing the drugs once she realizes what she's able to do, as well as theft of the type of the drugs they use at the Vor bar for creatures that can't normally do what snakes do, type of thing. I want her to be able to do it under like a controlled state, so like she's kind of drugged out, but she's like more aware, and she's like, you know, not going too crazy until she starts abusing it more and more and more, and then it starts warping her mentality. This is just more of a drugged her out, some alcohol, and then pissing her off with calling her a pharaoh, and then she's like kind of more of in like a angry, malicious state right now. So right now she's sort of taunting Tim. I was like, what the hell did we call him? I was like, oh yeah, Tim. Tim is his official unofficial name. A full motion comic with sounds and all. Maybe someday. Honestly, things would have to pick up a little bit more for me to have that kind of luxury. Or at the very least, I'd probably have to find a bunch of sounds and stuff like that and learn more animation stuff, which I'm slowly learning. Been looking at tutorials and such so I can try to make some small 2D animation stuff, but it's a slow process. All I really need is just like watch a really good tutorial. You know, because I'm more of a visual learner, so like once I get it and are able to do it consistently, then I can probably start cranking something out. Like if I can, maybe the next page, if I can do something with like the next page of her showing her with a full belly, I could probably do something simple of like having her stomach move a bit as whatever is left of Tim is trying to fight out or fight back, or just a small struggle. Don't blow all your ammo, yeah. Yeah. So the idea for this particular kill is just, you know, she didn't get to enjoy it. So even if she was in the state of mind of, oh, I'm gonna, you know, make this person suffer or whatever the case may be, she's not even gonna get to enjoy it. So I know some people will be like, oh, what the hell, you're not even gonna show the lore, and I'm just gonna sit there and just keep quiet and be like, well, it's gonna happen when it happens. Because right now we're going through the whole Joanne struggling to accept that this even happened at all. And then, of course, you know, she's gonna be furious that, you know, one, she was given drugs and done something that she wouldn't normally do. Then find out that her actions were like one of the most profitable things to happen in the studio. Then she's gonna get not only compensation for what happened, but also a possible bonus if she continues doing this sort of work. So she's gonna have like a bunch of conflicting mental decisions, because it's like, you know, she's trying to help out her girlfriend with bills and stuff. She has a chance of making a shit ton of money, although in a slightly degrading fashion. So just a lot for her to think about. Yeah. And then it's a matter of like, how often does she practice with clones before she is given or is put in a situation where somebody real wants to be eaten by her. And at first she probably has like a bit of a dilemma with that, but then once she's told that it's okay, or, you know, like she's not doing anything wrong, or however I'm gonna justify it, that's when she's more willing to do it over and over and over. So it's just a matter of building up her conditioning for the situation. Yeah, because like normally her business probably would have been pissed off that she did something like that, but given the person that she ended up killing, they're kind of like, he's been kind of a nuisance this entire fucking time anyway. We'll let it slide, and here's your compensation from, you know, the guy drugging you, because he's been known to do that to their other employees, and trying to make off with like free sessions and stuff like that when he knows he can get away with it. But in this situation, it's like, oh well, Joanne kind of fixed their problem. And not only did she fix the problem, but they made quite a bit of money from it, because it wasn't something they normally did. Exactly, like, it's a living. Hey Jet. Yeah, I'm doing good. And then I will show the character that she was supposed to hook up with. So that way it wasn't just like, okay, the person she was supposed to hook up with never showed type of thing. Think Joanne would go with giant banana like Templeton. I mean, she already deep-throated a guy. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just a big reminder that this is some black market shit. And like, I'm not even gonna have like the other characters like threaten her or anything if she decides to like, you know, not come. If she were to choose to not come back. Like, I would say at most she wouldn't be able to come back to the underground. And if she were to try to tell authorities, she'll probably be told that some of the members of the underground are cops or something like that. Whether it be true or not, it's like, you know, she can't take that kind of chance. Like, she's not super important or anything. She's not from a rich family. She literally comes from nothing. So yeah, she's more gonna be just put in a situation where it's like, here's your chance of getting a lot of money. You can choose to not take it, but don't think you're gonna get nearly as much money from either continuing doing the job they hired her for originally, or if she just chooses to not come back, and then she'll be back to where she was of barely getting any casting roles for whatever situation. True, he could blackmail her, which is like, well, you did kill a guy, and she would try to argue like, well, she was drugged, but then, you know, he's part of the underground, so he can spin it however he wants to spin it, and even let authorities know it was her if he chose to. So yeah, there's just a lot of things tipping against her if she were to try to do something about it. But they're not going to force her into the voring or whatever. It's like, they're just going to leave it up to her, but outside of that choice, anything else they'll totally use against her if necessary. Because the best way to control somebody is to make them think it was their idea. So making her think that she chooses not to rat on them or whatever the case may be is in her best interest. Especially if they were to find out about her girlfriend and all that, so she definitely doesn't want to put Janet in any trouble. And then, of course, her own family, if they were ever relevant to the story. But yeah, Big D is definitely gonna show her some numbers to try to spice up her choosing to go into that line of work. All she'd really have to do is practice eating people, or at least clones at first, until things spice up the start to spice up, where it's like, oh well, here's a person who's suicidal, and she's like, wait, what? And then I don't know, maybe she's paid more if they're real people. And then of course, whatever they make from the video sales, she gets paid for that. So there'll be a lot of development on how this situation works out. Oh yeah, like Coco is just there to be like, well, this is how much you'll make if you do it. If you don't, then she'll probably give out a number of how much she'd be paid normally for the normal job that they want her for. And then I don't know, maybe Coco brings up her employment records or something. Like Coco is just 100% neutral. She doesn't care one way or the other. She's not programmed to care in that fashion. At most, she's programmed to be someone's fuck toy when they need to get off some steam. Which again, she doesn't care. Yeah. And then it's just a matter of like, if Big D were to get offs, it'd be a matter of how the ownership of Coco goes, or if there's like some kind of clause that gives her freedom to do whatever she wants. But it has to be something that makes sense. Like, it can't be like Coco just kills Big D and then she's free type of situation, because then any android would do the same if they were allowed to. So, assuming there's a law of robotics, and then assuming that Coco isn't hacked to the point where she can just do malicious things. Because she is hacked, but only to the point where she's, you know, doing the illegal banking and stuff for their finances. So like she's able to like get things done online in the black market without causing suspicion. So it's just a matter of range on that. Because it's like, okay, is she allowed to kill? The answer is no. Yeah. It might also boil down to how I continue Joanne and Coco's relationship in terms of like, are they well acquainted or even friends? Or if like Coco has like any words of wisdom to give Joanne if Joanne's having like a bit of a crisis. So like, let's just say hypothetically, if Joanne was set up to eat somebody who's like suicidal, maybe she talks to Coco to see what Coco thinks of all this. And then Coco's response to that could probably be like, well, if a person's suffering and doesn't feel like going on, then this is a productive way to use them while they go out on their own terms. So it could be something like that. So maybe towards the end, where, assuming I do kill off Big D, they look at Coco and, or like, you know, we see Coco's like, you know, thoughts on the situation. She's like, well, my boss did tell me to continue doing work if something were to happen, so guess I'll just be continuing on working. Like, if anything, Coco probably just ends up taking over the production since she was instructed to do so, or something like that. Like, just show that she just keeps the business going, since that's what she was there for. Yeah. Like, there could be just like, it could just boil down to a situation where right before anything major happens, Big D tells Coco, you know, whatever happens, keep the business going, or something, like, whatever the case may be, and she just takes it, you know, literally, and she ends up taking over. Or it could be just as something as simple as Big D had it so that if anything did happen to him, Coco got to take over. And, like, let's just say Coco and Big D's relationship is a little bit more deeper than what it seems. So Coco is just, you know, the next in line or something. And then, depending on how sentient Coco is, decides on if she's just making money for the sake of money, of making it, or if she actually intends on, you know, having like an actual life. But she could just be being efficient and running the company, and that's it. Like, she probably has no in-depth thoughts about it, because she's supposed to be a tool. She's not supposed to be a person. Oh yeah, I forgot to draw that. There we go. So yeah, we'll get there when we get there. Yeah, exactly, because she's not a machina. She's just a regular android or robot. I'd say the difference, well, I mean, there's obvious differences between androids and robots, but since she's an android, you know, she's just performing her function while having like a slight advanced AI, but not advanced enough where she has like emotions or anything like that, or like making second guesses. She just does what she's told. And then she's like a semi-sex bot. Like, that's not her primary, but she's told to, like, well, if any of the workers need a little help, then she's ordered to help them out in that fashion. That's why she made the comment about Taz using her. Oh yeah, that was fun. She was integrating with all the appliances, and her boyfriend's a toaster. Like, assuming Coco could get hot and bothered, if you want to press her buttons, just show her some schematics of like a nice advanced or simple machine, and she'll probably be all flustered. It's like, oh my god, look at this toaster, it's so simple, it does one job and it does it right. It only has one function. Yes, the robo orgy. Could do that with like more machine-based characters, where they're trying to figure out love, which is kind of how Stacy and Talon 12's relationship is, where he's trying to figure out love. And he understands like the main principle of it, but he doesn't understand the emotional parts to it. She's like, oh yeah, she likes putting that bread in. Yeah, I should just show, like, at one point before Joanne talks to Coco about something like important, I just show Coco putting a piece of toast in and just kind of watching. And there's like no context to it. People are like, wait, I thought she's a robot. Why is she making toast? So only people who understand what the joke is are gonna know what that whole bit is about. Right, it's just like whoever catches her is like, I'm not, you know what, I'm not gonna ask. It's probably a robot thing. Just slowly walk away. Or like open the door and she like looks at you as the toast comes out and you just walk slowly back out. You're like, I'll give you 5 minutes. Which she'll likely take literally. Exactly. 300 seconds later, you just see a plate of toast, toasted toast. Like a whole loaf was already toasted. Or however long it takes to actually do that, but yeah. It's just a whole plate of toast. Or could have it where like a janitor is trying to use the toaster, and they're like, "Dang thing ain't working. Maybe I can fix it." And so they open up the toaster, and that's when Coco sees the toaster's insides, and she's just like, "Whoa." He's like, "Look at those mechanisms." Exactly. Someone just comes by, it's like, "Cool, free toast." But yeah, Coco watching the repair person, or like the janitor or whatever, fixing the toaster, and she's just like, "Oh my." She probably just has like an inner monologue, just going like, "I didn't realize I didn't see how you worked inside." Like those springs and those wires. There's like a little timer inside. And the way it heats up. And to her, it's like super fancy or something, or sophisticated. And then I don't know, maybe Coco gets all dirty with the toaster and starts showing her mechanics. Kind of like the scene with Bender and the Express ship. Could totally see Coco drawing porn, but it's just schematics. Or looking at like a manual for her porn. Like other people be looking at regular porn, she'd be looking at manuals. It's like crumbs again. I see. Like you've been fiddling around with that toaster again, weren't you? But Pa, I love him. uh, Again, this is the problem with me going into depth about whatever character. It makes me just interested in doing something with them. But I already got all this to work on. So much I want to do, so little time in the world. I'm gonna have to start writing a list of storylines and stuff. Maybe there's like a situation where after a hard day's work, Big D is like, all right, you can go play with the toaster. She's all excited. Or however she expresses excitement. She'd be like, thank you. Thank you, sir. And she hurries to go play with the toaster. And he just looks at her going like, I swear robots are weird. Or like, the girl ain't right. It's like Hank Hill's like, the boy ain't right. That's probably a little bit lower. Alright, you take care, have a good night. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cut it short in the next 30 minutes or so. Today be a short one, and tomorrow I'll do a longer stream. Okay, I am going to need reference for this part. Yeah, it's about the same as what I was thinking. Okay. Just gonna try to rough it out and then fix it over time. behind that. And maybe a little spaced out. She does have a uvula though, so I'll have to show that. Rising a bit. It's interesting how snakes can separate their hinges and all that. Let's see how they do that now. They're quick. So that's how I did that. Though it's not as canon as I would like it. I have to tighten this up more.
How do you say?
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Lower this a little bit. have no idea what kind of gun that is. Ah, okay. God, I haven't played Halo in so long. I've only played the first 3, if I remember correctly. Like, I know some stuff of later sequels, but not a lot. Yeah, I heard Reach and ODST were good. Yeah, it's always fun to see things from another character's perspective, or like even if they're not even like the top, like the main cast, or even like a higher up, like seeing a grunt's perspective is always interesting. That's why Star Wars Episode 7 was interesting, the way they had it set up, because we were seeing things from Finn's perspective, and just the way that he was handling, like, you know, like, hey, maybe I don't want to be part of all of this, and so he leaves and all that, and he meets all the other characters. The problem, though, is Episode 7 was the only episode with a decent start in terms of where the new continuity was going. Everything else throws out all the good ideas. Granted, Episode 7 did have a Mary Sue moment with Rey, which I immediately called out, and my friends were all like, no, she's not Mary Sue. I'm like, dude, she literally just learns a skill just because she heard she could do it. Jedis can do it. That's it, and then she just suddenly knows how to do it. But other than that, like, the rest of the movie was pretty much fine for the most part. But yeah, like, 7 had a really good setup to a lot of potential for certain characters, and even, like, you know, villains and storylines and stuff like that. But then they just kind of threw it all away, and then it just became kind of nothing. It was just more like, it's like, well, this character's special because reasons, and all the stuff we set up for another character, we're just gonna throw that out for pretty much no reason. We're gonna make them go on a wild goose chase for no payoff. Like, it was just very poor managed. And then when they introduce elements in the universe that for some reason hadn't been done before in terms of lore, it's like, okay, you're introducing this thing, or this technique or whatever. You realize that if you do that, it's gonna impact a lot of situations where it's like, oh no, we can't stop this giant battleship, and then I'm like, okay, why don't you just do this? Because it clearly takes out an entire fleet in 2 seconds. Oh really? They're doing the watership down thing? Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of like, once you introduce certain things like that, it's like, here's an ability to destroy basically an entire fleet. Once you introduce that, now it's gonna be like, anytime there's ever a problem, it's like, okay, use this thing, and then they're never gonna use it again, because they wrote themselves into a corner now. Anytime anything near impossible comes up, just say, okay, use this thing because it destroyed half a fleet, and they're gonna come up with reasons why they can't, even though it's gonna be bullshit. So yeah, the problem with episodes 8 and 9 is that they didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and we're going for more of the wow nostalgic factor rather than an actual continuation. Slim this down just a little bit. And granted, episode 7 also had its nostalgia moments, but it felt more natural for the most part. Although I am kind of pissed off that they never had the original cast meet with each other during the movie, and that was like their only chance, because what was it? What was her name? Jodie Foster, I think her name was. I'm horrible with names. Let me make sure. Yeah. Wait, no, I'm thinking of somebody else. Yeah, Jodie Foster's for a different thing. Carrie Fisher, there we go. Goddamn, horrible with names. But yeah, like, that was their only chance to have that happen, because unfortunately she passed away and they didn't do it. I was like, man, you couldn't have them like show up just for like a few seconds, just for a brief moment. And granted, they probably planned to do that for like another episode. I can give them that sense of leeway, but it still felt like well, no, it had to have been episode 7, because that's what happened, because of the stuff that happens to Han. So yeah, it had to be episode 7 where they did that, and they didn't take that chance. Instead, they went with a very bad decision. Yeah, it's like you have like a bunch of the actors that pass away, and it was just like, man, you had one chance to make a valuable tribute, and then you didn't take it. So it was just like, I don't know what possessed them to not do it. But like I said, it was just bad management, because some of the higher-ups thought they knew better than the actual fans of the series. And it fucked them over hard. Especially when they first built up Captain Phasma. It was just like, oh, here's Phasma, she's blah 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 blah. None of that showed up in episode 7. And then they're all saying like the lore behind her armor and shit like that. I'm just like any of this mattered? You guys didn't do anything with it. Like, don't tell me all this lore and then don't fucking match up to what you were talking about. Like, even just a little bit. Like, obviously I don't expect you to show me everything, but at least show me that this character is a badass, or that you build up this character to be whatever it was the character was supposed to be. Okay. So, here's this page drawn so far. The last panel is its own thing. But yeah, I'm gonna call it for now. Thank you for coming. I will stream again tomorrow, or today, technically, at 9 p.m. Pacific time. I'm gonna try to get this page done before then, if I can. Hold on, let me fix this. This is annoying me. I'm gonna try to get this page done before then, and then if I have time to work on something on the side, I will. If not, then I'm gonna work on another hi-hat page. But yeah, thank you everybody for coming, and I will see you guys again next time. All right, bye bye.